Coming up on Look Today, well, the presence of invasive species in Lake George has increased. I've got details. And Taste of the North Country in Glens Falls raises money that will benefit the community. More on that coming up. And a mysterious occurrence turned the feeder canal to an emerald green color. I got those details. It's all ahead on Look Today. Welcome everyone, I'm Jay Hood Jackson and this is Look Today. In tonight's program I sit down with Dan Berggren. He's an Adirondack folk singer and we're joined by Scott Hayden. He's the executive director of the Adirondack Folk School and they're here to talk about an upcoming concert that's happening October 14th in Saratoga to benefit the school. I also sit down with Jamie Williams. She's the associate director of the Franklin Community Center and she's here to talk about what the center does for our community and an upcoming fundraiser for them called Project Lift. That's happening on October 13th. Plus, we've got your weather for the Tri-North counties, but first, these headline stories. In our lead story, well, the presence of invasive species in Lake George has increased. The Asian clam has spread to 3 new sites. The Lake George Park Commission, in collaboration with the Lake George Association, conducted a full 176-mile-long search around the perimeter of Lake George. Now, 3 sites containing the clams were identified: Sand Pebble Cove, Edmund Brooks Delta in Diamond Point, and Cape Cod Village in Hague. Now, a large cause of the influx of this invasive species is due to this past winter's mild winter. Now, we spoke to Dave Wick. He's the executive director of the Lake George Park Commission.
So we have 3 new Asian clam sites. Asian clam is an invasive species that was found in Lake George in 2010. It's been managed almost immediately since it was found. However, it's very difficult to control and eradicate. We've had some great successes, and we've had other ones that haven't done quite so well. However, it does continue to spread into a few new sites in Lake George, and we found 3 new sites this year.
Well, at least they're aware of it. In other news, well, the Taste of the North Country raised $45,000 that'll go to benefit the community. By the way, it was a 45th annual event, and it took place in Glens Falls City Park and saw a record attendance of over 6,500 people. Up to 40 restaurants of the North Country sampled their food at the event. Well, we spoke to Craig Siebold. He's a co-chair for the event.
So today we have 24th annual Taste of the North Country, where we have 40 restaurants this year. It's a record for us. They're able to come in for $5 admission and then buy food coupons to try different restaurants' food.
The event was very well attended. And I don't know about you, but it seems like almost every year that they do this event, it's cloudy, but the rain did seem to hold off, and it certainly didn't dampen the enthusiasm from the people. Switching from news to weather, well, after this cold, kind of rainy weekend, temperatures increased today, and sunshine came out in the latter part of the day. So let's see how the week is shaping up. For a more detailed look at our weather, we're going to head to the Glens Falls Weather Center for a look at your first forecast. Back to the news. Well, for the second time in recent weeks, the feeder canal that runs from Hudson Falls through South Glens Falls has turned an emerald green color. Well, according to officials, this is at least the 3rd time in 2 years. Now, we were up there today and noticed the canal lost some of its green hue, kind of regained that murky brown color. But there's still no official explanation as to why this happened. We did ask some people, and they say it might be a non-toxic chemical that is deliberately added to the water to trace connections between the different sewage lines. Well, we're going to try to prove that, and we'll keep you updated as we gather more details. Up next, I sit down with Dan Berggren. He's an Adirondack folk singer, and we're joined by Scott Hayden, who's the executive director of the Adirondack Folk School. They're here to talk about an upcoming concert that's happening in Saratoga Friday, October 14, to benefit the school. And Dan plays for us as well. Plus, I also sit down with Jamie Williams. She's the Associate Director for Franklin Community Center, also in Saratoga. She's here to talk about what the center does for our community and their upcoming fundraiser called Project Lift. That's happening October 13th. But first, if you see news happening, you want to share a story. How about join us for an interview? Give us a call on the hotline. The number is 798-8000. Well, that's all time we have for this edition of Look Today. I've got some lookouts. First, you probably have followed my interest in Gaffney's and this Chowder Fest. You know, for 4 years running, they've won it in Saratoga, where the competition is stiff enough. Well, they got to compete in the big Chowder Fest for all of New England. I saw them today. They came in second, and there were entries from as far away as Seattle, Washington. So when I tell you that this Southwest shrimp chowder corn thing that they do is spectacular, I'm right. So you've got to try it. The other lookout goes to Glens Falls. Taste of the North Country was this weekend. Just a great event. Everybody was out for that. And also to Elise Stefanik and her office, because every Saturday they've been doing this rally to get out the vote. And the combination of both was just really made for a very exciting weekend downtown Glens Falls. And last but not least, as you met Dan Berggren in the interview I did earlier in the program, well, we asked Dan to stick around with his guitar and play an original song for us. So tonight, we're going to toss to him. But before I do that, I want to tell you that tonight on Look TV, it's Beyond the Headlines and some episodes of Tracks. A new season of Tracks, by the way, we're going to start taping in 2 weeks. So it's sort of a preview. Dan Berggren, and his song is entitled Here's to You.
The Algonquin and the Iroquois, natives of the land, they understood the balance between nature and man. Then the trappers and explorers, long since laid to rest, left us a path to follow to that northern wilderness.